What's up, guys? Mike here, and welcome to my tier talk. This is actually the first time I'm doing a tier list here on the channel, and I'm pretty excited to actually do this. We are doing the Rainbow Road to Mario Kart World at the moment, where, as of today, you know, April 21st, 2025, we are legitimately about like 7 weeks away from Mario Kart World coming on June 5th with the launch of the Switch 2. So I've been going through every single Mario Kart game and giving my thoughts on everything. Or at least we're going to start doing that today because we just finished Super Mario Kart live on stream. If you guys actually want to see me doing these tier lists and actually playing through all these games live on stream, feel free to go check out my Twitch channel down below. But yeah, today we are doing the Super Mario Kart Tracks for, tier listing. I'm going through the typical Sonic style tier list: A, B, C, D, F, and then S for really good, F for trash. So, yeah, I'm just going to start with I'm going to just do each biome, I guess, if you want to call it that, because Super Mario Kart had different backgrounds and whatnot. So, you got all the Mario Circuit tracks, Donut Plains tracks, Ghost Valley tracks, and so on. So, I'm just going to go through all the Mario Circuit tracks first, starting with Mario Circuit 1. Again, it's the first track of the Mushroom Cup. It's kind of a nice track. Pretty basic. It kind of gets you introduced to Mario Kart, as every first track of the Mushroom Cup tends to do. Again, this particular shape is very iconic because it's the first ever course in the Mario Kart series. Again, very simple. All these tracks are 5 laps. I don't feel like this overstays its welcome. It's a pretty solid track, so I'm going to put it at a B. Mario Circuit 2, though. Mario Circuit 2 is a really fun track. I love this track a lot, actually. It is the final track of the Mushroom Cup. It's really good with the fact that it has the gap at the end, and if you have a mushroom, you can have a lot of fun with this, just jumping around, and just taking that launch off the end to get a huge shortcut it makes you feel pretty powerful. So honestly, this is my favorite Mario Circuit out of the bunch. I don't know if it necessarily belongs in S tier. I'm debating between S and A, because honestly, it is a really good track. Honestly, I'd actually put it in S tier. I love Mario Circuit 2. Alright, Mario Circuit 3. Again, really also very solid track. Again, a little bit more of a pain to navigate compared to Mario Circuits 1 and 2. Again, Mario Circuit 1's a smooth ride. Mario Circuit 2 is a blast. Mario Circuit 3 is just kind of here. It's not trash for sure. I don't think it belongs in D tier, so... Personally, I mean, again, I'm also basing these tracks mostly based on the originals. I'm not basing these off of any remakes or anything. I'm playing through the original games and judging these by the original iterations of the tracks. So honestly, I would probably put it under C. That seems valid. And then we have Mario Circuit 4, the final track of the Star Cup. Again, to me, it's like not really as memorable as the other Mario Circuits on this list. Again, it's not trash, but it's also not memorable. Like, I feel like Mario Circuits 1 through 3 have a much more smoother layout compared, so... Personally, in terms of mechanics and how well you can drive through Mario Circuit 4, I'd actually probably put this in D tier. Okay. We're moving on to Donut Plains. Donut Plains 1. I absolutely love this track. I just love the shape of it, and I just love the fact that you can also use the mushroom on the right side to go through the gap. Really good introduction course to this game alongside Mario Circuit 1. Honestly, this belongs in S tier for me if we're talking purely on the Super Mario Kart tracks. I really love this track a lot. Again, I just think this is a really smooth layout to go for it. It's just a really good way to get used to the controls. I feel like this is very beginner friendly. If you wanted to learn Super Mario Kart, you didn't want just to learn on basic Mario Circuit 1. So I'm going to stick with S tier for that. Donut Plains 2. Donut Plains 2 is a nice little challenge because it has the Monty Moles. Pretty solid track overall. Again, the music and all the Donut Plains tracks are the same. Again, fairly good course. I don't think I like it more than Mario Circuit 3 or Mario Circuit 1, so I think it kind of still belongs here in the C tier. I don't think it belongs in the D tier necessarily. So I'm actually going to put it below Mario Circuit 3, right over here. Oh boy, I'm going to need a drink of water for this next one, because... Yeah, I need a drink for this. Alright, what do I have to say about Donut Plains fucking 3? I'm immediately putting this in F tier. That's not even a question. This track right here, Donut Plains motherfucking 3, is the bane of my existence with this game. If you end up watching my live stream of me playing through Super Mario Kart when this is recorded and whatnot, the bridge is a pain in the ass to deal with. If you're not careful driving, the AI just happens to know how to knock you into the water. If you don't time your jump right across the bridge, it's very brutal and unforgiving. The turns are kind of ass also at the end a little bit, and also just dealing with this small sliver of land right after such a brutal bridge. I think this is the most unforgiving track in the game, and it's not even like remotely balanced. Again, I'm only basing this solely on the original, but this track is a lot more tolerable, and I actually appreciate it a lot more in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Kart 8. But fuck this track in the original. That shit's in F tier where it belongs. Alright, we are now moving on. You know, I'm just gonna do this also, because this seems like the best way to go about it. I'm just gonna kind of do this at the moment and just pick the order I'm gonna do this in real quick. Alright, we're gonna do the Ghost Valley tracks next. Ghost Valley 1. Again, also part of the Mushroom Cup. Really good track. Very simple. Again, I also like the fact that there's the gap over here. Like this, you could jump across. I don't know if I'd put it in S tier. I'd probably put this in a solid A. Because it's very simple, but I like the fact you could jump across this and also just use this as a gap. Ghost Valley 2. This is a really good track if you want to learn how to technically use the feather to start doing feather shortcuts. I feel like Ghost Valley 2 teaches you about the shortcut like right over here in order to get past the gap over here with that and just make a nice smooth turn. Also, skillfully hitting the boost panel over there to get over to the end of this track is actually really solid. I'd also probably put this in A tier. I'd probably put that slightly above Ghost Valley 1 potentially. Ghost Valley 3. Not a bad track by any means. Again, it's also pretty tough because this one I believe is in the Special Cup. It's not bad. There's a lot of gaps. It's a good challenge. I would probably put it like right here above Mario Circuit 1. Mario Circuit 1's a pretty basic track, but it's also very enjoyable. But Ghost Valley 3 is pretty fun, but also has a good amount of challenge. I don't think it belongs in the C tier with Mario Circuit 3 or Donut Plains 2 for me. Alright, the Choco Island courses now. Alright, Choco Island 1. Again, very, very cool theme. I like the music for here a lot. Both of these are kind of a bop. Choco Island 1's got a very solid layout to it. I don't think it's terrible by any means. It's also nothing to write home about. I would probably put it right here between Mario Circuit 3 and Donut Plains 2 in the C tier. Choco Island 2 I have a lot more fun with. Choco Island 2, if you have a mushroom down here and you can time it just right, you can launch yourself across this entire area because of the bumps in the road. Again, there's a good couple of tracks that if you have a mushroom, you can jump right across these, and you can also mushroom across the dirt shortcut here. I would actually probably put this in A tier right below Ghost Valley 1 and Ghost Valley 2 for me. Really good track. I like this one a lot. Bowser's Castle. Oh boy, Bowser's Castle tracks. These are rough in this game. At least Bowser's Castle 3 is, but I'm not going to try to get ahead of myself. Bowser's Castle 1 I feel is a very solid layout. It's a little bit on the bland side, but it's also very cool when you hit the double speed boost when you're going down this entire path. As you're going into the turns, jumping over this. This was built well for the kart mechanics and everything, so I would probably... I don't know, I don't like the Bowser's Castle tracks in this game as much as a Mario Circuits theme or Donut Plains theme along with the music, so I would probably put it in the C tier right below Donut Plains 2 if I'm being real. Bowser's Castle 2 is also kind of rough because this is kind of where a little bit of the game's flaws come into play with some of the mechanics in terms of like getting enough speed and jumping. Because if you're not careful, if you use a mushroom down here, You end up falling into the lava 9%, 90% of the time. Again, also pretty challenging with the turns. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but I'm just not a big fan of it. I would put this right next to Mario Circuit 4. And then Bowser's Castle 3 for me is just completely rough. Bowser's Castle 3, again, this whole entire section right here on the left side where you have all the multiple platforms, again, if you use a feather at the wrong time or you use a mushroom at the wrong time, you're falling in the lava and you're falling behind. Also, the thwomps have a pretty bad tendency of hitting you because it's a whole wall of thwomps here and there's not much wiggle room to kind of get past them. It's a little bit on the brutal side. I wouldn't necessarily put it under F tier. It's definitely not worse than Donut Plains 3. I would probably put it under Bowser's Castle 2. Right here in the D tier. Yeah, that seems like a pretty fair spot for it. Alright, now we are moving on to Koopa Beach 1 and Koopa Beach 2. These tracks are both very solid. I will say that I do prefer Koopa Beach 1 over Koopa Beach 2. Just because I like this whole shortcut where you can get the item through the water and just make the shortcut through that. Really good layout. I just love the way this one feels a lot. Actually, no, I'd probably put Koopa Beach. I'd almost want to consider Koopa Beach 1 S tier for me, but I don't think it I don't know, does it necessarily hit that high for me compared? I'd actually probably put Koopa Beach 1 in S tier. I really enjoy this track a lot when I do drive on it. Again, really good layout. Koopa Beach 2, also very solid. I would probably put it right here in A tier below Choco Island 2. I do like Choco Island 2 just a little bit more than Koopa Beach 2. I know I appreciate it more than these two tracks. Koopa Beach 2 definitely belongs in A tier for me. Again, very interesting layout. Again, there's also a nice little water shortcut here, but I just prefer Koopa Beach 1's layout compared to Koopa Beach 2. Oh boy, and now we have the Vanilla Lake tracks. Nobody seems to like Vanilla Lake tracks, but I actually think they're okay. They're a little bit stupid at times, but I also kind of like the stupidity of the ice blocks with both of these tracks. I'm not gonna lie. Vanilla Lake 1 and Vanilla Lake 2 aren't terrible, but they're also not great either. Vanilla Lake 1 is a very simple track. There's not really too much to deal with. I would put Vanilla Lake 1 probably right below Mario Circuit 4, because I would tolerate Vanilla Lake 1 over Bowser's Castle 2 and 3 for me personally. Vanilla Lake 2 is very challenging. It can be a little bit of a pain jumping across the icebergs, but I kind of like that creativity about it. I actually think Vanilla Lake 2 is a pretty solid track when you know what you're doing. I know it might feel like the ice blocks are a little bit bullshit, and they kind of are. But I also kind of like the stupidity of how the AI can get messed with in this level as well. I don't think it's as terrible of a level as everybody else says it is. It definitely didn't kill my firstborn son like Vanilla Lake 2 did. I'm actually going to put Vanilla Lake 2... it's not C tier, I know that. Yeah, actually, you know, I'd put it in D tier. It's okay. Nah. Is it? Do I really want to put it in D tier? I feel like... No, you know what? I am actually going to put Vanilla Lake 2, and I'm also moving Mario Circuit 4 up to C tier. That honestly seems like the valid play. I kind of agree with this. And of course, you already hear the music in the background. What else do I really have to say? Rainbow Road SNES is automatically the best course in the game for me. Again, I am the Rainbow Road hype man when it comes to these courses, but... Again, the Rainbow Thwomps could be a little bit of a pain in the ass, but this feels like a finale. This game makes you use all the skills that... This course makes you use all the skills that you've done throughout the entire game, and it puts you to your limit. It makes you sweat blood, sweat, and tears. Again, you're on a kaleidoscope of paradise in this level. This is the Rainbow Road that started it all. Like, you gotta give it its respect and its due diligence. Again, 90-degree turns, very solid track. Again, when you master this track, it feels so fluid to drive through. Again, you get a cool split path at the end. You get the star thwomps. The music is a bop and a half. Like, There's no way I'm not putting Mario. There's no way I'm not putting Rainbow Road as the S tier of this game. Again, Donut Plains, Koopa Beach, and Mario Circuit 2 are all great, but this is music I've had on play on Nintendo Music for over an hour. I could listen to this theme on repeat for over half an hour and not get sick of it. But yeah, this is my final tier list for Super Mario Kart. In the S tier, we have Super Mario Kart's Rainbow Road, Mario Circuit 2, Donut Plains 1, and Koopa Beach 1. I feel very confident with that. The A tier belongs to Ghost Valley 2, Ghost Valley 1, Choco Island 2, Koopa Beach 2 in that order. I agree with that. Ghost Valley 3 and Mario Circuit 1 for B tier. I kind of agree with that also. They're good tracks, but they're not A tier tracks. They're still very solid tracks to give a nice amount of challenge. C tier being the mid tier of this game, I kind of agree with Mario Circuit 3 and Choco Island 1, Donut Plains 2, Bowser's Castle 1, Mario Circuit 4, and Vanilla Lake 2. Honestly, I'm moving Choco Island up a little bit. I'm also going to move Donut Plains 2 up a little bit. Yeah, I kind of agree with the rest of this, though. This is my C tier. D tier being Vanilla Lake 1, Bowser's Castle 2, and Bowser's Castle 3. I actually don't mind Bowser's Castle 2, but I feel like, yeah, I could put Bowser's Castle 2 like right below C tier. And then Vanilla Lake 1 and Bowser's Castle 3 in that order. And then Donut Plains 3 where it fucking belongs in the trash. You know, actually... Yeah, that's where fucking Donut Plains 3 belongs. Sorry, but it's very fucking imbalanced. But anyway, that's gonna do it for my tier list for Super Mario Kart. I hope you guys enjoyed my tier talk, and hopefully you guys will see more of these in the future. Again, if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely feel free to check out my Twitch streams where I'll be doing one of these hopefully every week until Mario Kart World drops. And we're gonna be doing a lot of Mario Kart World content too. Probably gonna try to do the Road to 10,000 VR for both Grand Prix mode and for knockout mode, and just doing a full playthrough of the game. There's a lot more kart content coming to this channel, let me just put it that way. But as always, guys, shine bright, dream big, never stop reaching for tomorrow. Take care of yourselves, be good to each other, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.